Hello, people. Sorry for being a bit late today, but I had to do something. But that's not necessary to tell you. Anyway, today we've got a little bit of an FFA here, 5K, 10PT, between Colorfit, Akita, Cosmo, RT, Pierre, and Machiavelli against a team, or better said, all versus all against entire team of Toggle and Petru. I think this team was made because Thorgal is just too horrible for this game. And to make him at least count like half a player. But I'm not really sure, I haven't asked for this. I don't know the reason for it, and I'm sure Call of It knows what he's doing. And I'm sorry if it's a bit hard to understand me. I'm still a little bit sick. Had a little bit of infection in my wisdom tooth, and it's not very funny. And apparently Caliphate is playing as Turkey. I guess he tries to rebuild the Ottoman Empire. I doubt that he will be successful though. Kosovo is Austria, so we've got a classic historical rivalry here. Akita's also Austria. Pierre is French. That's obvious, since his name is also French. Machiavelli is Prussian. I would have thought that he would be Venice or Piedmont. Ati is Hungary. Petru is apparently also Turkey. And Thorgal is Algeria. So now I know why Thorgal and Petru are on one team. Because Thorgal just had to play the most useless nation in this game. And useless nation plus useless player, mostly a bad combination. Oh, Hendrix, I know that Pierre is from Syria, but his name is French. And since his name is French and he plays France, it's quite obvious. Doesn't mean that I don't like Syrians, so I like Syrian people. Well, I only know one person from Syria, but that's a progress. Yeah, that's the best position you said. Arguably, yes. He's only got one straight, and the other side is pretty easy to wall off. I'd agree with you that his position is quite good. Takeda and Colorfit thinks that this position is awesome. I mean, if Takeda would go full Germany 1936, 1939, I meant, then it would be awesome indeed. But I don't think he's going to do that. since he's Austria and he lacks the panzers and the other everything actually. No MP40, so that's not very awesome. I would say that Cosmo and Pierre have two of the best positions here. The worst goes to Takeda, and Petru has his pretty cozy own place there. I don't know if Call of it's going to rush Cosmo or not, but I don't know. Oh, and apparently Petru is not actually Petru, he's Vinci. I don't know why Petru is Vinci. Oh, apparently a name change. So apparently Vinci is impersonating Petru right here. That's not very nice. Adrian, I'm not going to play today, I think. I'm not in the perfect what's it called? Jesus, now I've already got to use the translator. I'm not in the perfect condition for it, I meant. And apparently Chiquita is having a plan of building a bunker. I guess he is indeed trying to go Germany, but this seems to be the Germany 1945. And yes, Call of it is indeed rushing on Kosovo. So yes, Anrix, you were actually right. Excuse me for a second. Okay, I'm back again. And Call of it is nastily, nastily hit and run in Kosovo with his Tatars. And Torgel is saying that Vinci's army looks like the army of a bot. It kinda does. This army composition really looks like it's fresh from a bot. I don't know if Call of Duty is trying to be Ottomans or if he's trying to be some kind of Soviet Union right here, because he's having a super successful game with his infantryman spam. And if we would play a roleplay game right now, these Tatars could be considered Katyushas. But I think I'm grabbing a bit too deep into the tricky kist here. The tricky chest, I don't know what it's called in English. And lots of writing going on in the chat, people arguing about trade. Call of it demanding stuff from Kosovo even though he cannot send stuff right now. And I don't think he will be able to because Call of it destroyed his market. I don't think that you can actually send resources without a market. I haven't tried yet, but it seems to be unreasonable why you should be able to send resources without a market. In most other games you need a market as well for this. And apparently Call of it going for the classical strategy of communist AIs in Hearts of Iron 4, puppeting everything. Puppeting the world just to demand stuff from them. And make the other AIs freak out of it. And apparently Vinci is losing hardcore against a bunch of Hungarian Hashdu. I can understand it because the Ottomans just don't have anything that has armor. And these Hashdu are really not funny. And if you use the Ottoman pikemen as the Ottomans this early against a bunch of Hashdu, you're probably either very, very brave or very, very stupid in my opinion, because it just won't work out. These guys don't have any gun armor. I think they build quite slowly. Let's have a look on that. They build quite slowly indeed. They have no gun armor. And the only thing they are pretty useful in is in melee. Because I think they have more health and a bit more attack. Which they also lack their normal armor, so they cannot have the Cuirass upgrade. Which will also make them insuperior. Basically, you're quite fucked as the Ottomans. If you don't go Janissary instantly. Hanrex, I think you can also send resources to enemies in FFA. If there's one team at least, which there was one team of Torgal and Vinci. And to be honest, I'm very surprised that Torgal is actually lasting longer than Vinci himself. Because Torgal does not even have an army. You could simply go into it and basically trash his ass. Which would be what I would do if I would be in game. Simply because I like to smash people that are easily smashable. It has to do with expanding the empire. Roma and Victor. And such stuff, as you know. And Torgal is trying to take the minds of Vinci here. I don't even know why he's doing that. He does not need them. Because he is not doing anything with them. Which this is also quite quite ironic. He isn't actually playing, but he's still here. Why didn't they just pick someone that plays and not leave this place basically useless? I don't get it, but I'm sure they have their reasons. Apparently the devs lied. The people cannot trade on FFA even if there's a team. Well, that's quite nasty from the devs. Lying is not a good thing. So stupid. there's a little bit of a big battle going on between Machiavelli and RT, which is already decided because apparently RT was stand ground. And Machiavelli just went in and it doesn't even look like he's got any upgrades. So there was a quite good way to kill himself by Machiavelli right there. I don't know if that was supposed to be, but what do I know anyway? Thorgal already tells us Machiavelli is dead, and I can quite agree with that. No Artin, the capture is off as far as I know. I doubt that the Call of the Soviet Horde will be very successful in this time right now, because musketeer armies are starting to assemble, and this bunch of melee men is already getting mowed down by the musketeers. At least they are performing perfectly against the Croats. Yet they won't perform very well against these Austrian musketeers. If they wouldn't get so close at least. Probably they just lack some upgrades, I don't know. I think the Austrian musketeers of the 17th century have a bit of a... I think they have a lower fire rate and a lower range than the normal 17th musketeer, but I'm not sure. Just look how they get mowed down, all of its infantrymen, from the Austrian 17th musketeers when the Croats distracted them for a bit. And Pierre has just assembled a massive army over time, doing basically nothing right now. If I would be to guess now, I'd say that Pierre would win by simply sitting around, sitting on his ass and doing nothing basically. Apparently Color Protectors has destroyed Kosovo's base. Pierre is objecting to this map being, to no stone being on this map, but there is stone on this map. He apparently just does not see it. He does see it, but he doesn't use it. All of it is stating to be economically dead with the constant war. Well, apparently Kolofit is taking the role of the Germany now in 1944 or 1945. Or he's just overall the Ottoman Empire right now, the late Ottoman Empire of 1910 or so, I don't know. Hanrex, yeah, Kolovich should have changed to Janissaries a long time ago now. But he doesn't. I don't know why he doesn't, but apparently he's just being a complete Soviet. He cannot afford Janissaries, he says. That must be a lie. That's just a lie, I guess, because Janissaries don't cost a lot. They cost 55 food, 13 gold, 5 iron. Other upgrades associated with them. Well, that's true, they cost a bit more, but you can afford them. You just cannot not afford them. Just get a bit of more food economy or wood economy or whatever. Some more gold and you've got it done. Apparently Machiavelli has already left. Don't know why he did leave, because as far as I know Artie wanted to give him a second chance. And apparently Thorgal has started to colonize both the old base of Vinci and Takitas Island now. And a bunch of Pierre Hussars is attacking the gatehouse of Takeda, with Takeda not reacting to it at all. But apparently those Hussars are quite incompetent at attacking the gate anyway, so he's got a bit of time. Yeah, those Hussars are really incompetent. They are only attacking if they push themselves through the gate, which they have already done. Thorgal stating that Takeda is about to die. Thorgal appears to have gone Captain Obvious now, but I'd agree actually. I'd say that Archie is trying to get a piece of the cake as well, or to actually attack Pierre from the rear. Since this is actually, well, actually it's not his weak point at all. Pierre's just got such a massive army that he kind of couldn't care any as well. Peter got completely slaughtered by Pierre. Just by the Hussars, not even by the Musketeers. I haven't seen the Musketeers doing a lot of the work actually. And Torgal is afraid that Takeda will bring Pierre to his colony, which I don't even know why he should care. I mean Pierre, because that colony, it's not even a colony, it's just a town hall. A true colony would have some houses around it, maybe a barrack, a tower or so. Probably something of everything, because the colony wasn't simply a storehouse. A colony was an entire settlement. Just ask the British, ask the Portuguese, ask the Spanish, they all know how to colonize. You could basically ask everyone how to colonize because everybody did it historically. Otherwise there wouldn't be any cities, any villages now. Apparently my game has glitched a bit because I can see one of Takeda's peasants going through the water. So he's either really good at keeping his breath or he is a Übermensch and just does not need to breathe. Which he is in Austria, I just think he is very good at holding his breath. Apparently there's even more peasants going through the water. Must be some kind of national sport. There's even a Pandura in the water, standing around, holding his breath. What the fuck is going on? Now the peasants go back through the water, back to the other peasants in the 18th barrack. I don't get what's happening here. Why are they going through the water? Must just be me because I don't think that other people have this. Must be some kind of glitch that I've gotten right now. At least it's hilarious to see the people go through the water. Underground peasant? Goggle is talking about underground peasants. But how? I don't know how people can get underground. Apparently Artie's peasants are starting to be incapable of holding their breath any longer and just dying underwater. Apparently it's not just a bug with me, apparently it's even for color, looking at the stream. So apparently Chiquita's peasants have started to learn how to swim. It's quite a big advantage for him because other people cannot swim. They always need boats for everything, even for the small river, which is quite pathetic. Meanwhile, Pierre is turning Nikita's base into a little Nanking here. Completely raping the occupants. He hasn't got any grenadiers though. And Colopitos finally started to get some Janissaries. Apparently they weren't too expensive after all. Huh? Tegida is sending in some Panduras in a kind of suicide squad manner. I don't know why he's doing that. Well, I don't know why he's trying to attack at all. I guess he has his reasons. I'd say that this game is going to end in a fight between Artie and Pierre because they have the long range gunners here. And the longer range wins. If there would be a Switzerland, I bet the Switzerland will win by now. Because you just cannot stop these Jaegers. That long range and that firepower, no, you cannot stop it. Even if they are being built fairly slowly, they are building everything else at normal speed, so you're quite fucked if there's a long-term Switzerland in your game. A house is the same for everybody as Turkey, Hanrex, because, well, it's a house. House is always the same for everybody. So, Yeah. It has 25 people in it. Well, and the price is arguably changing. The Russians have completely built out of wood. All the other nations, I think, have also got some stone. The Turkish house, however, has a balanced mix of wood and stone. Basically, it's everybody else except for Russia and the Ukraine. All the others, I think, need a wood and stone. Russia and Ukraine only need wood. Obviously, because they apparently did not invent stone in that time. And Call of it having a raid in this northern city, mobilizing a disorganized force there. They're about right there. The raid being repelled by the peasants, not really a good sign for Corsair. But at least they killed some of them. And hell, that's a quite massive bulk of Hussars right there. Probably all of its infantrymen can repel them if they wouldn't be distracted by going somewhere. Never mind, it's just too many Hussars. Call of it sent his men to death against Pierre's stand ground line right there. Not really intelligent. And now he's going to die by Hussars. Welcome into my world. Adrian, I can answer your question. And what do I think about the World Cup? I don't care about the World Cup. So there you've got your answer. And there's a large-scale disorganized offensive going on to cut off its base, but yeah, the round just going in far before the chasseurs, so that's quite bad. But since Call of Duty has only got trash units, so there might be still a good chance for Pierre to win this, if he can control those chasseurs actually. But these Tatars seem to be the only proper unit that Call of Duty has right now. So I think he's going to win with them right now. Because Pierre is retreating the rest of his men. Well, hello, Adrien. You're French from France. That's quite obvious in my opinion. The most people that are from France are French. Except if you're anti-France, then you're probably not French France. I paused it myself right now. So currently it's an FFA between 5 people. There's quite everywhere going stuff down. RT assembling to attack Pierre, Pierre retreating from Dekida and Colorfit, and Kosovo preparing to attack Colorfit, and vice versa. And one wasted slot with Toggle, as always. Yes, I just have to roast him, I'm sorry. It's just a situation that just quite forces me to do it. From my own personality, of course. Hanrex, is there even African French? I don't think there's African Frenchmen. Because everywhere where there was French Africa, it's actually not French Africa. It's what was Morocco, Tunisia, Algeria, Mali, such stuff. It was not actually French, it was something else. Culturally. Tom, I don't really watch football, but I'd say that you're right with the French football team being more African than French. Because as far as I know, there's quite a few black French people. Actually, quite a lot. I heard that in the French football team there's mostly just black people. So you're right, I guess. And RT is starting to engage with Pierre, being quite aggressive with his, how they call it again, Sekali against the forces of Pierre that apparently don't have as much range as them. While it's also using his light cavalry quite aggressively on the front. Which they also have a good range in, I think. And Pierre going in, apparently. At least it looks like it's in the air. Yeah, he's going in. And RT is not responding with his round shears. But the Hussars are falling like flies, so that might be a good thing for him. The Hashtuk are firing now as well. The Merc Grenadiers, I don't know why he's telling them at firing, but it's quite okay. Some support, and every bit of support helps. Just like every bit of support helps this channel, so you might as well just leave a like if you like it, or dislike if you don't like it, but only a like will help. Anyway, the fight is dragging on. Apparently, it does look like Pierre is losing this right now, but actually it looks like Arte is going to lose this. He's got no of his Hashtuk left, his Scalia are all gone, and he's only got his light cavalry left. And Arte is apparently complaining about the range of the Corsair, which is not reasonable because the Scaly have the same range as the Corsairs. Apparently Colorfit is trying to make Kosovo a friend now. I don't know why anyone should be Colorfit's friend. It's just so unreasonable, but apparently Kosovo agrees. Toggle is well, pretty much. Yeah, he's got a ton of peasants in his gold mines, and apparently Toggle has built open gates. I don't know why Brotherhood is lolling at him. Cosmo said it sounds good, but he doesn't think so. I don't get what's going on. What's happening? Apparently, Pierre is preparing to strike back at Artie. And there's a little bit of a sandwich fight going on between Takeda and Kalafit, with the Soviet army of Kalafit being squashed between Takeda's Hussars and the infantry army, with the weaker side facing the army, which is quite not really smart in my opinion. The infantrymen should rather face the Hussars indeed, but these Tatars, you don't want them dead. Apparently it's not of matter anyway because everybody is dying right now. So that's not really good for anybody. And Kalafit's still sending... Never mind, he just sent some grenadiers to Koswa, but it was unreasonable because Koswa and him are actually friends now. Or did I miss something? Anyway, it appears like the Gita is just scrolling over Kalafit in this moment. The Hussars are just superior to the infantrymen. Actually they are dying quite easily, but I think that's just because the Hussars just have a trashy armor against anything in melee. Even if you upgrade them, their armor is quite pathetic. The best thing they are at is attacking without being caught back in melee. Basically against any form of musketeers that's not got a bayonet that's upgraded. If they face some 18th musketeers without any upgrades on bayonet, they will take 1 damage and it's fine. If the Hussars are fully upgraded on their armor, of course. Otherwise they are quite troubled. On the other hand, I haven't played with Hussars in quite a while, so I can't really tell if they take 1 damage or 3. I don't know. Call of it being not happy about being destroyed. Welcome in my world. Didn't even know you want to come into my world, but you're welcome. So, Tom FD, it depends on if Pierre wins this engagement with Artie now, in my opinion. Otherwise, I do think, well, actually, Pierre's got his 18th barracks going up. 5th, actually. Let me recount it. 2, 5. Yes, his 5th 18th barracks going up, whilst apparently actually RT already has 5 18th barracks, which are building the 18th pikemen now. What a mistake. He should have continued to build his Skelly, because they are just way better in dealing with the chasseurs than these 18th pikemen, which are just trashed and dying instantly. They might be effective somewhat against these hussars, but they are just going to die like flies against the musketeers and chasseurs. And arguably they're also useful against round shears, but the priests will just steal them up again, so that's not really a thing. That's true. And Kosovo killing some peasants of Thorgal, which is quite okay. It's just saving nature, because Thorgal's peasants were just cutting the wood, the forest. It's producing air for all of us. So Kosovo saved the air. He's quite effective in protecting Mother Nature. I've got some serious lag whilst looking at the army of Archie and Pierre, so I will not look at this and just tell by the movements on the minimap if there's an attack going on or not, because I think that Colorfit can actually see this battle better than I do. And since Colorfit's already dead, basically dead himself, I don't think that he's going to be distracted by whilst looking at it. Meanwhile, apparently Colorfit is built his building is from asbestos, and Kosovo is trying to burn it down with archers, but it's not effective since buildings are actually asbestos overall does not burn. So it's not really effective. It won't work, and it will not work in the future. Never-ending stalemate at RTMP's battlefield. I don't think that's going to change anytime soon, because I think that both are actually staying grounded and nobody will attack each other right now. Or anytime soon. So yeah, we can wait a bit at this. But at least RT has switched back to Scala. Secali. Such a hard word. Why can't Hungarians just write like normal people? After all, they were so long under control of Austrians. Why couldn't they just write like Austrians? I mean, sure, keeping your individual cultural language is quite okay. I do support this indeed, but it would be quite nice to make it more readable for other people. And Pierre is shooting down at RT's lines with this chasseurs. RT having a few of his scalars shooting back, but probably not as much as he has just are shooting at him. Meanwhile, Colorfield is now building the Have a Sipahi cavalry. So I do think that this is going to benefit him more than it will hurt him. It will hurt him in numbers, but it will benefit him in way more effective stuff than way more effective cavalry than the other people with their hussars have. And then the battle has gone off here against Arti, and both hussars are attacking each other's line. So then it's quite a hilarious battle because apparently Arti's hussars have lasted a little bit longer than yes. Due to RT having a better supply, what the word again? Let's just say supply thingy. The RT having a better supply thingy than Pierre, he's going to win this battle. Smashing harsh losses into Pierre's army, and RT yet keeps most of his scary. So he has a big range advantage above Pierre, who cannot build his chasseurs as fast, I think. I don't actually know the building time of the chasseur because I just don't play France. Yeah, the Skelly is built faster than the chasseur by 1 second. So from now on, Archie will have an advantage over Pierre. And just from my own opinion, all of you people who wrote that Pierre will win are quite wrong now. The battle is going to be longer now, and from my personal perspective on the winner will probably rather be Artie. But the battle has not been ended, as I said, and the winner will still show up. But Pierre's army is quite pathetic right now. The most thing he's got is Merkshires and Hussars, which they are still not enough to counter the Skelly and Hashduk and light cavalry of Artie. Oh, I missed an intense battle between infantrymen and pikemen, on which you just saw on stream. I'm sad that I missed this because it was pretty intense. But another battle is going on right now. This time it's Call of its infantrymen attacking archers, which is not intense at all. It's boring. We want some more action. Actually, the battle is quite good. Not exactly this one, I mean, because it's just archers, but there's another battle going on, more pikemen against Call of its infantrymen and heavy Sipahi. Which is quite more intense since the archers are actually firing at them instead of running away. The battle is going to be longer since there's even more pikemen coming in. Will Call of its army survive this? That's what we see in the next episode of Battle of the Pathetic Armies. Apparently there's a Colourful priest who's just dancing right there. He's dancing and healing Colourful's men. I want to have a healing dance as well, but apparently it's not very effective because the priest just hits 15. And I think a normal priest on any other European nations hits 30 or so. So GG priest, but your dance is not effective at all. Apparently no, normal priest heal 20. but well, it still means that it's not very effective. Adrian Karlov did not get out of this on his own, it was because Takeda left him alone. Torgal being sad about Takeda annihilating his shipyard, but it's not bad, because Takeda is once more protecting nature. Because Torgal could just start building boats that are using trees, which are being cut, which have produced air before. So Takeda is actually quite a good guy. I cannot continue to talk like this. It's horrible. It's like hippies, but the age of hippies is already almost 40 years over. It's like almost twice as old as I am. So that's not really a thing that I should really talk about. And I keep missing the battles of Colorfit and Cossacks, which is not really good. Artie just standing behind the strait, not doing anything. I think he will be best. He will be better off waiting behind the strait on the here side, so he cannot get catched off guard with his troops trying to cross the strait. So they are washed together, and an easier target for Pierre. Even though there's no artillery, it's not really good if your men are being forced to stay in a tight block, like crossing a strait. It'll make them an easier target for hussars, which I think are Pierre's preferred cavalry right now. And Colorfit is going for the next battle with Cossacks. I don't know why this seems to be a war of pikemen versus infantrymen, but I think they have their reasons. Because Cossacks could just start making cuirassiers, which would be so much better than the infantrymen, and even a little bit better than the heavy Sipahi. But instead he's making hussars, which are fairly worse than pretty much both of them. Because they died to lots of infantrymen, and the heavy Sipahi just outmatched them in defense and attack. Both the same way. Colorfit pranking Cossacks with, which is basically forcing to burn Cossacks' houses down. But it's not actually affecting anybody, except for Cossacks himself maybe. But those Tatars are actually doing some nasty damage. And the battle has started, Cossacks and Color moving in. And in these melee things, I think it's actually better to have your infantrymen squashed together, especially if there's pikemen involved on the enemy side, because the pikemen have a longer range of attack. So more can attack at the same time, it's going to be overall more effective. And Colorfit is completely being bashed out right now, because the pikemen are just so much better than infantrymen in any case. the only thing that it's really keeping alive, Call of it right now, is the Tatars spraying down arrows onto Kosovo's pikemen, which do actually have a quite shitty defense against arrows, because they don't have any armor on their own. Apparently Takeda is trying to test if he can kill someone by smashing his hussars in Call of its unprotected ass, which is not quite nice. Alright, I'm back. Sorry if I didn't tell you if I was gone, but I had a sudden need for some Coca-Cola from the fridge. Wonderful. It's just one of the best things that I can imagine to drink. some really nice cool Coca-Cola from the fridge. I recommend it to you if you haven't tried yet. It's really worth a shot. And a big battle between Color Fit and Cosmo. Once more, the same boring settings as always. And Pierre getting gang raped basically. So I'd say that Pierre hasn't won anymore. I'd say that he's lost quite hugely. Apparently, as far as I could tell, Artie has used the saving of Takeda to justify Takeda helping him now. Which happens quite often in an FFA, as far as I can recall. Because Call of Duty uses this quite often as well. Except for Call of Duty actually enslaving you after he saved you. So basically it's a well, how is it called? It's a win-lose situation for you. Because you win by being saved and lose at the same time by being enslaved. But hey, that British culture just has it in his blood. Enslaving people by the means of actually saying that you helped them. So that happens quite often. Happened historically, happens today. And everywhere are these weird buildings of Torgo. Everywhere, on every part of the map. I still think that it was just a waste of a slot, to be honest. This battle could have been quite interesting with somebody who actually fights in this position. Being able to keep Cosmo under control and at the same time have a weight of pressure onto Arte. And probably even Takeda, so that would be quite interesting actually. But apparently it just shouldn't be. And the next raid against Call of Duty. Once more from Cosmo into the unprotected flank of Call of Duty. This already happened the second or third time. I've stopped counting somewhere, but I think it's not the first time. Apparently Pierre has done quite well at defending against Takeda's army in the north. His army yet looks quite healthy. But so does Arte's army, since Arte has not engaged, as far as I can recall. It was just Takeda. And Thorg is stating that Pierre has now gone to Auschwitz. Which does actually seem quite obvious, since Archie just completely smashed his own army against Pierre's stand ground line. So that was really quite a Konzentrationslager right there. Oh, Archie sent his armies on walk because this was laggy. Ouch. So yeah, this was really kind of a Konzentrationslager right here. Vernichtungslager Auschwitz. Oh, it's about 2 centuries early for that. But okay. Apparently Torgo has built a labor camp in the bottom right, in the bottom left corner of the map. 2 layers of wall and workers on the quarry. So I suppose that it's either a gulag or a well, labor camp, which is actually the same thing, just in another language. So don't mind it. I'm just weird, I guess. And the next battle between Colorfit and Coswar. And I bet it's yet going to end up in the back and forth again. So I don't really know why I'm honestly talking about these. Probably because there's nothing else going on right now. Except for some... Oh, apparently, yeah, right now there's a battle starting between Takeda and Pierre again. Takeda not moving his round shears in the correct direction. Gustav's going in alone, which is actually horrible. Since Pierre's chasseurs are not protected at all. It's a bad move of Takeda right there, a very bad move. He could have gone in and destroyed him actually. And yet he is not shooting back. So that's very bad management actually. I hope he can still survive this one. Which I think he does, because he's got a hill and hill wins. In any case. Except if you only have 10 men on there, then it's obviously not a win. But on this army size, I think hill is definitely win. Even if there's a Soviet horde of 18th pikemen coming up it. Torgo asking Takeda to not touch his labor camp. Come on, you've got that one from me. You're not original. That was actually a quite fatal loss for Takeda right there. His army was just moved way too bad. He should have just gone all in, and he would have stood a chance to win this early and quickly against these unprotected Cossacks, but he didn't. And Torgal is yet building another wall around his little labor camp in the bottom left corner, with minarets on the edges as watchtowers, I suppose. So Torgal is really staying true to this idea of a labor camp. I bet all these peasants are just political enemies of his. It's actually PS peasants, so it's indeed his enemies. The more you know. Oh, apparently Calafit has finally managed to break through Kosovo. So finally something has moved, but since Kosovo has just migrated further east, I should just take this back. Talk is thinking that this is a labor camp for friends, and he's giving them jobs. You're not a USA. You're not supposed to do that. You're not spreading freedom. The freedom of right for work and the freedom for protection. So France, yeah. You either train to be USA or Soviet Union, but you're neither of both. Now I know it. You're the People's Republic of China. They are doing that, I bet. So now we reveal Thorgal's true identity. Thorgal exposed. Exposed by the Imperator. Apparently Thorgal is having way more fun than he should. And I do agree. Artie trying to take the Algeria away from Torgal. And Torgal said there's no XD rules. I don't really get it. Besides, I don't even know why Artie would want Algeria, because Algeria is useless. Especially at this time. And apart from building some houses, there's no real use for it. Probably for the infantrymen. And to be honest, the Mamluk cavalry is not really that bad. It just takes a horrible long time to build, and there's horrible expensive upgrades. Oh well, I have finished my nice cool Coca-Cola. Now I've got nothing to drink. What's your favorite drink? Just write some comments in the chat, obviously. And Thorgal, I'm not hating you. I'm roasting you. It's sort of banter, you know? Because every time there's a Call of It stream, there's also got to be banter. And without banter, it wouldn't be Call of It. And apart from all of this, banter is fun. At least in my opinion. You may have different opinions, but I like it. This system is called despotism. And Artie is once more assembling an army in front of Pierre's base, which I don't think that's really useful right now because Pierre has built an army up again. Well, Thorgal Rose are supposed to be funny indeed, and I think they are funny. If you don't think they are funny, too bad. But I can't really control it. Because otherwise it will be, if I could read your mind through nothing but a game, I would be quite a wizard. And I would quite enjoy being a wizard actually, but that's quite impossible. While it is true that I could do something else but roasting, I don't even know what to talk about. And if I'm going to talk about something in more depth, it should interest me, and I don't know if people are interested in what I'm interested in, so it's not really a thing right now to do something else than roasting. Because some people might enjoy the roasts, some people don't, but I'm sure that some people will enjoy them. So I just do that. I even roasted Color a few times in this game. I roasted basically everybody in this game. So you're not alone, Torgal. Just think about that. And the next battle between Artie and Pierre, and I bet that Artie is going to lose again. Though this time Pierre is being quite aggressive with his hussars, while his army stays back a bit. And now the musketeers are engaging, whilst both people have pretty much lost their fodder. It's quite intense right now actually. Oh, and Artie is in the meantime blowing up a barrack, an 18th barrack of Pierre, which is going to cripple his production of chasseurs a bit, even if he loses this battle. Which it does look like he is, because he's just not got enough of his skelly. This word skelly kind of reminds me of some kind of skeleton from a cartoon or so. I don't know why it does that, but skelly? Come on, it just sounds like it's some cartoon skeleton. And as I thought, this battle has been lost by Yati. But Pierre has not survived this without any punch in the face back. I forgot the word again. Without any cost. Let's just say he didn't want it without any cost. He's lost most of his, well, actually all of his fodder. He lost most of his 17th musketeer. All that has survived are his chasseurs. Whilst he can recover quite quickly on the things that he's lost, he's also lost an 18th barrack, which is going to cripple his production on chasseurs a bit. And Colorfit is meanwhile just savagely hunting down Cossacks, which is normal because it's, well, Englishman against Englishman. Only one can prevail. It's basically Oliver Cromwell against the crown over again. All over again. And the crown is running away. All over again. So this is quite obvious once more. Nothing is really happening right now except for Takeda mobilizing against Color for no apparent reason. Because Colorfit is basically useless, actually, with his infantrymen and having no real gunner force, as I can see. Or as far as I can see, I mean. Yeah, his gunner force is quite weak, actually. So he's got a ton of fodder, but nothing really to shoot behind it. But he's caught Takeda off guard, and that's going to help him a bit. And apparently those Tatar hordes are being quite the what's it called? They are neutralizing the lack of gunners in his army. Doesn't mean that he's going to win though. His army does look pretty crippled right after the first engagement here. Then again, that's just a bunch of mercenary grenadiers right there. So they are not going to perform too well in battle. In any kind of battle. But the Tatars have been caught by the Hussars, and so have the Janissaries, so they are basically gone and out. So this was quite a decisive victory for Takeda, as you can see, which was quite expected actually. Call of it stating that Turkey in the late game is hard. It's so hard actually. It's probably true. Well, Takeda's Austria, so he's got the Pandur musketeer, and does he have the Austrian 17th musketeer as well right now? I cannot see them right now, but I doubt that he's got them. Anyway, the Pandurs are quite strong, and the Hussars are also quite good against the Tatars and the Janissaries. Kolofish should have gone with a more solid army of heavy Sipahi, in my opinion, to counter the Hussars. But then again, the Tatars are just a vital force if you don't have Janissaries. It's quite hard to decide on this one, but I think that he's done his best in this case. But it appears that this time Takeda is going to do it. To do it and do it right. Because he does not seem to fall back, he seems to get more and more men in there, and he's got a ton of grenadiers right here, even though it's just mercenary ones, but they are still doing some good damage against the buildings. So I suppose Call of it is done and done right. Because I cannot see any outside exclaves of Call of it in which he could just retreat and rebuild. Because everywhere's just toggle. Which isn't actually a problem. You could just overrun him with one or two heavy Sipai. But yeah, it's yet annoying. Artyom, this is not a Union game, this is an FFA. Hiya Terry. And Aristotle, I don't know if there's going to be another game. This has already gone on for quite some time, and it's already in the term of English time. It's already almost 10 PM. Well, though I suppose that most of you are living in somewhere in Central Europe, I would say it's almost 11 PM. It's just a thought. I don't say that you all live in Central Europe, but I do think that most of you do. As far as I know, only these weird English people have these weird time things in Europe, where they have -1 hour to the Germans and such. It's puzzling me, and I don't want to talk about that. David Sharp, indeed. It's said that the task cannot shoot by moving, but then again, the real-life dragoons also shot while moving. So it's a quite unrealistic to have him not shoot while moving. Then again, it probably would be seriously overpowered to have it like this. So I think it's balanced like this. I think the tactic of actually moving and shooting was called Caracol. I'm not sure, and I haven't really studied this one, but I think it's called like this. Like the European name for it was Caracol, but the original name is, I think it was the Partick shot. And Colorfit apparently claiming Thorgon's little concentration camp for his own base. This one peasant must be Colorfit himself, because he's only got 10 out of 50 health. I'm not sure if that's mental health or physical health, but it's probably fitting in both circumstances. That was quite a nasty roast. Apparently Artie is preparing a naval landing in Pierre's area with his, while he's building some shipyards. And I don't know what has happened, but Archie is on the back foot once more, and this army does not look big at all. I haven't seen it, but I could think that he got rolled over by Pierre, which Pierre's pretty overpowered. He's just smacking people left and right with weaker armies. In Hanrex, I can try to pronounce that, but since I am German, I have another accent than you, or than Hungarian people. So it's going to be quite hard. Sekeliutarvaheli. Sekeliutarvaheli. It's a weird name. I cannot pronounce it really well, but if I did well, you can say that. I mean, I would be happy if I could pronounce it correctly, especially as a person who lives in a completely other area with completely other language. So I don't really know, but it would be quite nice. I don't know how to pronounce this fancy E with a little apostrophe about it though, so probably I've butchered that. I think I have read somewhere that the Sakeli people live somewhere in Transylvania, yeah, but I haven't really pronounced that. Yeah, I know it was very bad. I could have thought that because I'm just not used to pronounce names like this. If you would ask me to pronounce machine pistol, I could make it perfectly, but that's not Hungarian. That's just German. But of course that's easy because, as I said, I'm German. David Chap, the Mongols and the Tatars are actually something very different. The Tatars are rather influenced by the folks that lived near them, like what's it called again? Turks and stuff. I think they were very influenced by Turks, especially the Crimean ones, since the Crimeans were vassals of the Turks. And I think that the people who are rather like the Mongols are actually the Altaic people. So the Mongols weren't actually that spread. And Skelly is actually pronounced like the English word sake and the letter K. Seiki. Seikei. Okay. That's a weird way to pronounce it, in my opinion. Seikei. Huh. Alright, I will try to use this from now on to pronounce these. At least if I can remember it, of course. And everywhere where I look, it's just lag everywhere, so it's not really good for me right now. I'll have to wait for it to go away. Are you Transylvanian or Hungarian, Hanrex? I suppose that you are Hungarian because the name already says Han. Well, yeah. And Han is the short term for Hungary. There's just so many men on the map that can just go nowhere without having lag anymore. And Jesus, this stream of Takidas, man, it's legit killing my PC. I'm a good student. Well, thank you, Hanrex. Oh, and Raw. Atari. Yeah, I don't know how I could say this raw in a realistic sense, but I'll just say raw. But not raw food. Because raw food is just nasty. Apparently there's an engagement of, oh, it appears like an engagement of Artie's Hussars into Takeda's stand ground Hussars, which is an absolute slaughter for Takeda. And Takeda is now disengaging. So I think that's really too late though. He's already lost like half of his Hussars right there. Just like that. By a single stupid movement of his. Or actually not paying attention rather, I'd say. But it was still kind of silly to do this. And he's now moving his army back into his base. Ironically, on my screen, the people are moving through the gate and back through the wall. I guess this wall is kind of a hidden door. David Sharp, as far as I know, the Cossacks were rather with lances, like spears or swords. The Mongols are really just with archers there. They really just had bows and arrows. As far as I know, at least, I have never seen a picture with a Mongol horseman that has a sword or a spear. It's just like the hunting people. They also were basically just with arrows and bows on their way. And apparently Cross was now going to finish up with Call of it. Stating that he couldn't kill him. Which I do think it's actually realistic, because Call of it just got smacked away when Corsair had already rebuilt a barrack and a stable. And indeed Takeda has attacked him during this, so he couldn't really kill him. Actually I don't think that Storgel would have done better at all if a fucking massive army of Europeans would have appeared outside of his base, because Storgel does not have any army at all. So he would rather only perform worse than you. Don't worry, Call of it. He's just having a bit mouth. Did you mean conquer, or is conquer a own word, David? Because it rather sounds French in my opinion. Conquer, or Spanish. And your name does not sound French or Spanish. So was it a typo? Apparently I'm considered a filthy liar by Thorvald, because I cannot see his magnificent amount of drummers. Uh, yes, because you don't have any drummers. All you have is a bunch of peasants, which are not even effective because they are getting killed in your base. And the only drummers you are producing are constantly getting shot by some mercenary grenadiers. So yeah, you don't have any drummers. Fogel, I can assure you that I'm not blind. I can, I sometimes have problems seeing stuff, but I'm actually quite good at seeing, because I only have problems with seeing when I'm actually tired. I just cannot see any of your drummers. It's it's not possible to see things that are not there. And apparently Artie is going to attack Takeda now. And again, all of his men are going through the wall. I can't understand why people prefer to go through the wall instead of through the gate. And my game has just gone really laggy. I think it's also frozen. I'm gonna be waiting a bit for this. Hundreds, I'd say that these heavy slippery are made out of steel because the arm was made out of steel. Obvious, actually. Well, my game is kind of lagged out or frozen. I don't really know what happened right there. But the stream is still going, and that's the main thing that counts. That Count Dracula's. Okay, that one was really horrible. Alright, Hunrex, see ya. Ah, my game has restabilized again. Well, it's still laggy, I mean, but at least it has stopped freezing. Apparently somebody has blown up his houses and somebody has had a big ouchie. Yeah, Artia has had a big ouchie right there. Apparently those houses did not stop Artie at all. But in the meantime, Takeda has managed to push through Pierre and to basically kill Pierre right there. What a move. Meanwhile, the great hordes of Cossacks are just pushing down into Colorfit. And whilst Artie has quite obviously beaten down on Takeda, it does not seem like he's got any grenadiers with him to settle this down. So I doubt that he... Oh, actually he does have grenadiers there. They are actually fighting against some pikemen right there. I doubt that they are going to survive this battle though, since most of them have already died. And they did win, but only very barely. 2 of them are left, so it's not going to be very effective anymore. But they didn't do a lot of damage. Actually, they did do a lot of damage, but on the wrong place, because there's 3 barracks, actually 4 barracks of Takeda in the south of his army. So if Takeda somehow manages to get this back, it's going to be a bad time for Artie. And I doubt that he's going to take it back, since he's just kind of suiciding his army right now into Artie's superior Hussar and what's it called again? Seikei. And apparently this battle has marked the end for Colorfit. He's pretty much out of the game right now. Meanwhile, Colorfit is trying to chop down Thorgon's gate with his peasants, and he just opened the gate himself, so there's no real reason to chop it down anymore. But he's continuing to chop it down. That's some determination right there. Apparently Colorfit does not trust Thorgo, which is reasonable. I wouldn't trust him as well. Nobody should ever trust somebody. Well, actually you should, but don't trust Thorgo. He's going to close the gate in front of you. I think that it's pretty much obvious that Artie is going to win this battle, this FFA today. Colorfit has somehow managed to upgrade his buildings so much that the grenadiers of Cosmore don't make any more damage than the archers against this bazaar. Call of it is stating that he likes to destroy target structures and go inside them so much because they're safe from Kosovo. I doubt it because Kosovo can simply go around them, while Call of it is trying to chop down the walls. Because chopping down the walls is taking so much longer. The cavalry can just move around it. Which is just the thing that they are doing. David Chap, there isn't really a Rick versus Doggo rivalry. It's just that I like to roast him. He's just giving me way more opportunities than other people. And I'm quite opportunistic when it's coming to roast. Apparently the color of it is dead. At least it looks like it, since I cannot see any more peasants of his. And I suppose that we can all agree that Oliver Cromwell has won over the crown. Which is historical, I think. Did Oliver Cromwell win against the crown? I don't really remember. Then again, I haven't really studied this topic. There's just a massive wave of hussars from Arti just flushing into the fortified barrack area from Dagida right now. It's just an absolute slaughter. And somebody is saying that color fit is a tough ass. I don't really see how you could say that, because he's dying from a famine. Never mind, he somehow cured his famine. I don't really know how he did that though. Hey Doggle, it's not in my head. There isn't even a rivalry. I just like to roast you. You're giving me the best opportunities, and that's quite honorable. I should thank you for it though. Anyway, in the spirit of this, I hope that Artie is going to go for Toggle next. Just kidding. There's no real reason to go for Toggle right now, because well, he hasn't got anything that could threaten him. So I'd suppose that Artie is probably next up going for Pierre to clean him up, and then going for Cosmo. And if I could find out how he did survive, probably Call of it, and then Toggle at last. Takeda is stating GG. He's already given up. I don't think that he will be surviving any anyway. Well, Mohammed RS, I'm not really sure if Color will win this, because it seems to be quite oppressed right now. RT is basically just cleaning up the rest right now. And this game is pretty much over. And Toggle is planning to give everyone Nigerian houses. I don't even know why, because they probably have way more population limit than they need. Toggle is saying that Pierre and Cossacks are working together, but they aren't. Now he says that Pierre is looking for Cossacks, which I also don't think is the case. Anyway, Cossacks is getting steamrolled. And pretty much everybody is dead right now. And Pierre has left the game, or he died. I'd rather say he died. And the last men of Kosovo are also going to die. And Thorgal states that he gives up anyway. He doesn't even fight back. That's boring about him. He doesn't even try, even if he has drummers. That's quite worthy for a boo. And Thorgal says that me and Color are against him this game. That's not true. You're just giving me way too many opportunities to quite roast you. And yes, because you're not doing anything as well. Because you're basically just a waste of slot in this game. I'm just going to be honest. And this other player could have done way more than him. Way more than Torgal. To complete the thing that Color said. And Color said that could have been another player. And Color just left the game. Now it's just Crosswar versus Artie. Artie stating that the Chasseur from France is so OP. Well, the Seikei is not too better than the Chasseur. They have a faster build rate and I think they have the same range. So it's basically just the same unit in more actually. And Cosmo has quit as well, so Artie is the winner today. Congratulations. It was quite close between Artie and Pierre, but in the end, Takeda has pulled it out for Artie. because somehow he managed to just roll over Pierre. Anyway, yeah, congratulations. And I do think that, well, it's obvious this game is going to end now. The stream is probably going to end now as well. Not just probably, it will end now. I bet, because it just cannot go on forever. It's pretty late now anyway, so I just say enjoy your day, enjoy your weekend starting, enjoy yourself, enjoy the weather. Probably it's very hot where I am right now. Not right now. It's nighttime now. It's colder, but in the day it was very hot. So do something nice, have fun, and I'll probably see you tomorrow. And until that time, bye bye.